Welcome to Retrobot, the YouTube channel where we feed a friendly space robot a diet of pure nostalgia. I'm Clay, and in this Short Circuits video, we're going to be talking about Transformers War for Cybertron Kingdom Wingfinger. Take a look at that. He's here in his packaging. Let's dive right in. So, for starters, the Kingdom packaging is amongst my favorites. I just love the illustrations that they do. I mean, look at that. He's got a volcano. You can see the arc in the background, and there's lava, and you see him in both of his skeletal modes. And I really like these weaponizer figures. So, I'm hoping that he's as cool as the other ones have been, but we're going to find out very, very shortly. So you can see the figure in his robot mode, if that even counts as a robot. I don't know. It's sort of a bone thing, and then skeletal bird mode here, and then on this side we have the War for Cybertron illustration that looks very, very nice, and then on the top we have a Maximal's symbol on what seems to be a piece of stone, and then under here we have legal garbage. And then on the back you get to see the figure in his robot mode and in his skeletal bird mode, and then you get to see all the pieces kind of shown here and how those pieces can be applied to a figure. So let's go ahead and take him out of the package and see what he's all about. So here he is out of the box, and right away I'm just going to say that I'm not super in love with what I'm seeing here. His body dynamics give him really no shoulders whatsoever. There's not much happening in the midsection or the chest. He's sort of looks like he's got kind of a bat face, just sort of in between there or something, but yeah, now the lower body seems fine. He's got decent hips, and I like the way the legs are jointed. I like what they've done with the feet here, but I have to say that everything from the waist up is not really, I'm not feeling it. It just doesn't really capture my imagination. It certainly doesn't excite me. Now, it also has this piece, which I guess plugs into the back here, and then it's got a couple of bone swords things here, so we'll give him those. And now, yeah, that doesn't fix it. That does not fix it. Like we've got this huge bird head here. I want this to be the body. I want that integrated into the body somewhere, not just a giant extra piece of kibble on the back. So yeah, first impressions are not great aesthetically. Now, I will say that he has the advantage of being, having nice articulation. He's got a lot of motion in his shoulders. His elbows have good motion. His wrists have good motion. The legs are very, very nicely articulated. And of course, as a weaponizer, the pieces do come apart, which means that maybe there's a better robot mode hidden in here somewhere. We will find out. All right, here's what we've got. So, I have done some reconfiguring. It's a little bit limiting that a lot of the pieces in the legs are jointed, like these thigh pieces just have sockets all the way around. It's not like there's a socket that joins with the hip and then a peg that joins with the lower leg. It's just socket, socket, socket in the back, which makes it so that you can't take the leg pieces and use them with the arm pieces, because the arm pieces go, this is all part, the rib cage thing here with the shoulders thing, that's all connected together. Those don't come apart. And then you have this peg piece here, which takes a socket, but then you need another peg on the end in order to get to the socket on that hand. So yeah, it seems like, once again, Hasbro has a tendency to do these weaponizers so that you can only put them together in the ways that they intend. Whereas I feel like they're missing the point, because the whole play value of one of these is seeing all the different ways that you can put things together to make stuff that they didn't intend. And so that's been something that usually I'm able to work around, but this guy was a little bit tricky. I like this better. Just by bringing these out and extending the arm, I can give him the illusion of having more shoulder than what he has. And you know what? It's never bad to have like a dinosaur skull, or in this case, like a flying dinosaur skull as an arm. I mean, that's really cool. And then we've got this stabby thing that can come around here to make an arm sword stabby thing, and we've got another arm stabby thing here that he can use. So I'm dealing a little bit better. I'm feeling a little bit better about this guy. But yeah, if you just put them together the way that they suggest in the instructions, which of course I never do, then I'm not digging what they're trying to sell me in terms of the robot mode. And I still don't like how empty it is here in the chest area. I mean, there's just no chest. There's barely shoulders. You get a spine and hips, and not even a rib cage or anything. The ribs are on the arms. So yeah, not really feeling the robot mode, but there are things that you can do with it. Get creative, especially if you get some of the other weaponizers and you start mixing them together. Of course, Wingfinger here does come apart, so let's go ahead and show you all the pieces that come apart on him. You've got the head, which has the opening beak. You've got that little piece, which decides to take a nosedive. Yeah, this just kind of clips onto the back here like that. And I don't really know what it's for yet, but we will find out. So that comes apart from there, and we will set those aside. And then, of course, we have those little stabby, spiky sword thingies, whatever they are. And so we've got those. And I had taken one of the arms off, so this arm used to be over here. I can put that back just to put him back into normal so that you can see the difference. So that is, that's originally what they were going for here, and I just don't like that. I don't like that at all. That's just not very good. But anyway, so they have these forearm pieces, and then there's a ball joint here with the hand, but it's not specifically a removable piece. You could probably pop it apart pretty easily, but for the play value of this, it's not intended to be a removable part. And so we'll just set those apart, and we'll take off this one. That's another forearm piece. and we'll put that aside. And then you have this whole assembly here, which has, you know, a couple rib cage robot shoulder things that don't make very good robot shoulders. But and then you've got the pivoting head thing. There's not much of a face. There, you know, you get a little blue visor, and that's it for the face. He just doesn't have a lot going on in terms of what you see there. He gets a little Maximal symbol on his on the top of his helmet there, and so we'll set that aside. And then we have the lower torso. You have this spinning piece here, which does have a peg, but it doesn't separate. You have the legs, which have sockets, and they just peg on to this sort of pelvis piece here. And other than that little pivoting thing right here, there's nothing else that moves on this pelvis piece. So we'll set that aside also. And then we've got the lower legs, and those things pull apart here. And you see what I mean about these thigh pieces. There's a socket here that has a pivot here, and then there's a socket there, and there's a socket here that's also on this knee joint. But there's no posts. No posts whatsoever. If there was a post here, then you could do a lot more with this. If they had put the socket on this side and the post on this side, then that would have been way better, but they didn't. And you know, at some point, a frustrated designer guy could try and swap those, but I don't think I'm gonna, because I don't think that they'll fit the same. You know, you can see that this is actually a pretty thin joint, whereas this one is fatter. So I don't think that it would be a direct swap, and I'm not sure that it would make it like it would do what I'm hoping it would do. So yeah, I mean, I probably won't do that. But you have the lower leg that has this post here that makes up the lower knee joint, and then you have this foot piece, and you have that heel. You know, unfortunately, now granted, there's a good amount of tension here. They did provide a lot of tension there, but you see that it's still not super tight, and when the robot is standing there, it wants to do that. And that's doesn't make for a very stable foot. It's okay. It's not great, but it's okay. And so again, we have the thigh piece with the 3 sockets that we will set over here, and we have this thigh piece with the sockets and the leg. And so I will just set those there, and now I've got these kind of laid out on the other camera, and you can see all the pieces that you get here. We've got you know, we've got the body, and the arms are over there, and then yeah, I'm trying to lay these out in a way that sort of makes sense, and doing a terrible job of it. But so they would go together pretty much like that. And then you have the bird head, which presumably goes on the back of the robot. But yeah, here I'll just kind of spread these out like that, and then he does that like that. Okay, so that is the selection of pieces that you get with Wingfinger. So now we have to put them together as a skeletal pterodactyl thing. So we're going to start with the torso here, and we're going to close up the head, and we're going to take the arm things, you know, his little stubby arms. We're going to put those back on him, just like that, and just like that. And now we're going to swing these up around this way, like this. And you'll see that in the back of the head, there's a little tab here and one on that side. And you see there's these little slots right here that we can just close these forearms or the biceps up around the head and tab them in, and that kind of locks them in place like that. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to set this piece aside, and then we're going to take this piece, and you see that's the pelvis piece, and we're going to put these thigh pieces on, and we're going to make sure that these socket things that you can actually see the little rivet head in there, those are facing the front. And then we're going to give them, whoop. Here, I did this one wrong. There we go. There we go. So there. Now we've got the hips on there, and you can see that rivet head, you see that in there in the socket. So those are facing forward. And then of course we have our leg thingies, which if you put the robot mode together the way that the instructions said, then this is already like this. I did not. So you know, this is, if you didn't and you just have a pile of parts, this is how the parts go together. And then what these are going to do is they're going to come out like this and like that, and then we're going to turn them this way so that these finger things are sticking out like that, and then we're going to take the sword thingies and we're going to stick them into the underside of the feet like that and like that. So you see you have sort of this whole thing going here, and then of course we got the bird head. So we want to have the bird head, and actually let's turn these this way. We got to turn these this way. That's important, because then the bird head is going to go right on the end. See, this is actually the bird neck right there. And so you see how there's two posts here? I don't know what this post is for. I think that's for weaponizing. You take this post, the lower post, and you can put the bird head on there, and then you can open the mouth. The mouth seems to only have two positions. There's like super wide open and completely shut. There isn't like just a sort of, okay, I'm squawking, but I'm not like swallowing a person whole. So you know, I kind of wish that there was like a middle ground, but there really isn't. It just does that. So then we take this piece right here, and this is going to go together, and you see how there's this tab right here, this little bit of spine right here. Well, that's going to go in between the shoulder blades like that, and then you've got this peg here, and that's going to go in the hole there. So we just put that together like that, and then we just maneuver. And see, there's that little back piece that seems to want to come off all the time. So then we just want to rotate these little leg pieces. I guess they're leg pieces now, since it's now mostly a bird thing, so that the pegs are on the outside, and you see how there's an open spot on this joint here. And that's important, because if you want the bird to be able to stand, then these are the bird's feet, and they need to be able to come forward like that. But that is the bird mode, and you know, it's interesting. It is interesting. I don't hate it, but you know, I really wish that there were some more spiny things. And I understand that that's probably not actually in the skeletal structure, but I mean, come on, how accurate is the skeletal structure of this toy? Honestly, I suspect that they've taken liberties. And, you know, what I'm seeing right now is just stick that goes out this way that suggests the shape of a wing, but there isn't actually any any wing here. And I feel like if there were just some, maybe one or two little spiny things that came in, then that would really sell it a lot better. And so the dinosaur skeleton mode is definitely better than the robot mode, but honestly, it's I don't know. Once again, we have the what looks like a rib cage down here in what looks like the thighs. I would think that it would be a little further up. I don't know. I don't know. I think, once again, I think that there's liberties being taken with the anatomy, and it does, like, it's posable. You can certainly put it into poses, and you can have it be like, and scratch, it starts attacking and swiping at you with its claws, or trying to stab at you with its bony wing end thing. So there's certainly, just the concept of dinosaur skeletons that have sort of skeletal robot modes, that's fantastic. It's really hard to do that badly, but I will say that Wingfinger is one that maybe isn't doing it all that well. So there's other stuff that you can do with this. You can take the things apart, and I do have the instructions on this one, because I was searching to see if there were like secret things that aren't obvious that would make it cooler than what I'm thinking that it is. But and so let's go ahead and look for one of those things. So you take off the head, and you take off the back end here, and let's go ahead, and I guess you can take off the you take off the cloth thingies, and then you put these right in the end there, and so I think that's like that, and then you swivel them around like that. So we've got the pelvis, and the thighs, and then just those wingtip things right there. And now we can put that on our siege character, and he can be like, look, I've got a bony crossbow, and it doesn't really want to hold itself up very well. I feel like there should be something up there that will help with this. Wait, let me maybe do this. I don't know. I'm trying here, people. I'm trying. So maybe if I add that to it, it'll hold itself up a little bit better. Maybe not. Let me put that there he goes. Okay, now he can hold his giant skeletal crossbow thing and be like, aha, now I've got a giant skeletal crossbow thingy, or bow. It's just a bow. It's not really a crossbow. It's just a bow. And then he can, let's see, what else can we do here? Oh, you can also take, I guess these things. Is that the same thing? I don't know. What part is that? I don't know. Oh yeah, that's the same part. So we can't do the crossbow thingy and this other thingy at the same time. But what we can do is we can put the wingtip things, these back on like that, and like that. Yeah, there we go. And we have those on there like that, and then we can stick these back into these so that they're, you know, it's pretty much going back into the bird mode wing things, but we can stick those on the back of the character just like this. Oh, look at that. And see, now he's got skeletal robot wings that also would look better if they had like some little rib things, but they're sticking out and they got claws, and that's something, you know, that is definitely something. And then we could take, oh, we can also take this, and really, is that what you're telling me to do with that? I mean, the okay, we take this and we do that, and we can put it in his hand, and now he's got he can do that. He can do that. We can take these and we can put them on his arms, and then he has like some gauntlet cloth thingies, some you know, some, and actually an extra pair of fists. So yeah, he can do that. So, well, okay, I'm just gonna say that, don't, you know what, it's probably not worth saving those anyway. Instructions are odious. So, you know, you can do stuff. I mean, you got skeleton parts, and skeleton parts are cool just in themselves, and you don't necessarily need the instructions to tell you what to do with them. You decide what to do with them, and put them in places, and come up with cool stuff that you enjoy. Like, for instance, you know, this thing. Okay, so this, that fits on really, really well, and then we can take this, and it's got like a you know, claws on the end. Yeah, it's got claw things, and maybe we could even, you know, maybe, oh wait, no, here we'll go bird head. We'll do bird head. Yeah, we can. So, we can put bird head there like that, or we can we can take, oh look, we can take bird head and mount it there. Okay, now he's got like a bird skull claw thing on his arm. Now that's intimidation, all right? That is a weapon that I can get behind. And then maybe we have these things, and we have them put together like that, and we've got like I don't know, like claw thingies on his arms. You know, look at that. He's got claw thingies on his arms, and you know what? I'll let him keep the wing thingies for now. So yeah, you know, you got that. So that's that is Wingfinger. He is a fossilizer, one of the weaponizers, and as of this recording, he only just came out, and I have to say that so far he's my least favorite fossilizer. I like fossilizers. I love the concept of bony pieces that you combine to make a skeletal robot mode. Boy, getting it off of that arm, that was maybe a mistake. It's really, really on there. I mean, it fits way too well. Yeah, that's. I'm never getting that off. Oh wait, there. I was pulling the wrong way. There we go. Okay, so you know, skeletal pieces that turn into a guy, that is inherently cool, and you can have this guy with his bird beak, and you know, you can have fun with these. and do them the way that you want. You don't have to just do it the way that the instructions say. In fact, I encourage you to very specifically not do that, because if you don't do that, then it gives you guys that have like bird skulls for an arm, which is cool, and then you can have like, okay, unfortunately he's still not going to have a decent chest, but you can also have this guy here, and personally I kind of like I kind of prefer having the smooth part of the leg facing forward rather than the socket part. So we can do that, and we can flip these around, and he looks like he has feet. So, although honestly, except that the toes are up curled, I kind of like those as feet better. I don't know. There's a lot of room for doing your own thing with these guys. And that's definitely what I recommend, because that's where the fun is. That is what makes these things play worthy, is that you have the ability to let your imagination sort of run wild with them. And you know what? I'm just going to say it right now. If you decide that you want an extra 5mm hole, then you get yourself a 5mm drill bit and you put it in there, because these things are only improved with more flexibility, and this guy could use a little bit of flexibility. He's not the best. I'm just going to say it. He's not the best. I don't regret buying him, but like, you compare him to this guy, which, once again, I seem to have a thing for making the skulls into arms. But this is another guy that now this guy, he's great in every, just in his original configuration, but I did things a little bit different to give him like an extending arm thing here with a stabby bit, and then a skull hand, because the hands that they intended were just ridiculous. But so you see, you have room for creativity, and then you have like this guy. And for some reason, they want you to use this as the front, but he's got a T-Rex skull on his back. I mean, you start with the skull here. I mean, the skull has to be the chest, right? And so once again, you do it the way that you want. And that's one of the things that makes these fossilizers so much fun. And so, yeah, when I get Wingfinger here, I am a little frustrated that there's just not more to him. I want there to be more to him. He just doesn't feel like he's as substantial as him or him, and like I forget their names. I just forget their names right off the top. I've been doing videos for a long time tonight, and I'm starting to lose my focus. So I can't say that I super highly recommend Wingfinger. I'm sorry, he's a little bit disappointing. If you really like the fossilizers, then he's worth having. And it's bony parts. You can't really go wrong with that. And especially if maybe you're thinking, once I have all the fossilizers, I'm going to see what I can do to make some kind of monster skeleton. Because that's what I'm going to do. Then of course you want him. But yeah, there's just so much about him that kind of reeks of I wish there were more. I wish that there was more opportunities to do things differently. I wish that there were a few more pieces to him. I wish that he weren't limited in the ways that he's limited. And, you know, he just doesn't have the cool factor of the other fossilizers. And you look at him, you look at the way that he's detailed and the textures and the colors. I mean, he looks amazing, and he looks kind of bland. And you look at this one, same thing. The colors are really, really interesting, and the textures are very interesting. And then you compare it to this one, and I feel like this one should just be saying Roger, Roger after everything. Am I wrong? So, yeah, he doesn't really get a recommend. If now you've seen him, and if you think, hey, you know what, I think I could have fun with him, then go to it. But if you're on the fence and you're not really a hardcore collector that needs to have everything, if you want to save some bucks, then you might pass on this one. Sorry, Wingfinger. I want to love you. I do. But so that's it. If you like this review, then please subscribe to the channel, click the thumbs up, click the notification bell so that you know when we're doing more of these Short Circuits videos, and be aware that we do live streams pretty much every Friday night at 8 o'clock Eastern United States time. It's a couple hours of us going down the rabbit hole of a topic and having a lot of fun with a live chat doing it. If you join the live chat, we will toast you and we will say hi, and we will enjoy every comment that you make, and if we don't, the people in the chat will, because they are very clever and welcoming and very friendly. It's a good time. Check it out. So with that being said, this is Clay Carlino telling you to keep it Retrobot. Yes, Retrobot, even though he's more of a skeleton guy. Well, you know, I mean, it's a dinosaur. You just can't get more dinosaur than that. So, yeah, a dinosaur robot skeleton. I mean, that's the ultimate Retrobot, right?